Have you ever heard of the unlucky mummy? No, this isn't a Hollywood movie plot. This is a real story, a legend that has been whispered in the halls of museums for over a century. A tale so chilling, it's said to have sunk the Titanic. Our story begins in the late 1800s, in the sun-scorched lands of Thebes, Egypt. A group of 4 wealthy, reckless English travelers arrive, eager for adventure and treasure. They bribe their way into a tomb and find something extraordinary, a beautifully preserved mummy case. The lid is adorned with the serene face of a woman, exquisitely painted. They later found out it belonged to a priestess of Amun-Ra. The inscription was a warning, but they ignored it. They drew lots to see who would buy it. The winner was ecstatic. He had the sarcophagus taken back to his hotel. A few hours later, he was seen walking out into the desert, alone. He was never seen again. That's just the beginning. The second man in the group was accidentally shot by his Egyptian servant the very next day. The third man returned home to England, only to find his entire fortune had vanished. The fourth? He developed a severe illness, lost his job, and ended up selling matches on the street. The mummy case itself was passed on, leaving a trail of destruction in its wake. A London businessman who owned it saw his 3 family members injured in a car crash and his house burned down. He quickly donated it to the British Museum, hoping to rid himself of the curse. But the curse seemed to follow. A photographer who took a picture of the mummy case died mysteriously. A journalist who wrote about it died of a sudden fever. Even the museum's night watchman reported hearing frantic banging and sobbing coming from inside the case. The legend grew, and the press dubbed it the unlucky mummy. The stories became so terrifying that the museum decided to store the artifact in the basement, away from the public. But the curse wasn't finished. Here's where this story takes its most famous and most debated turn. An American archaeologist, a specialist in Egyptian history, supposedly heard the tales and scoffed. He believed it was all superstition. He arranged to buy the mummy case from the British Museum and decided to ship his prized possession back to New York. The ship he chose for its maiden voyage, a vessel touted as unsinkable, was none other than the RMS Titanic. We all know what happened on that fateful night in April 1912. It's said that the spirit of the vengeful priestess, disturbed from her eternal rest, unleashed her fury on the ship, leading it straight to its icy doom. Of course, historians will tell you there's no record of the mummy case being on the Titanic's cargo list. But the legend persists. So, was it just a series of tragic coincidences? Or was a powerful ancient curse really at play? The next time you see an Egyptian artifact, maybe think twice before disturbing its peace. You never know whose spirit is still attached to it. If you like this video, please subscribe this channel to support us.